Okay, welcome back. Getting close to closing up the fuselage now, and what I've been doing is just working on assembling the ball turret, which is coming together nicely. It's a bit fiddly inevitably, but the fit of the parts, the clear parts, is very good, so that's fine. So obviously we needed to paint the internals there before we insert the ball turret into its holding sort of mechanism within the airframe. Till just a few minutes ago, you can see that it's here. It's a kind of rotating sort of structure, which is very good. It actually does rotate. So I can sort of twist that around and so on. Well, we will be able to once we actually get the ball turret in, and that's all we'll be rotating from the bottom. I've actually not long secured it and glued it into the top of the airframe there. So, yeah, so the idea here was I thought I had to install the ball turret actually into its mechanism here, revolving mechanism, before we closed up the fuselage. But of course, as it's gone on, it made me realise that actually there are just two tiny little pins, which you might be able to see here, tiny little pins to connect the ball turret with its rotating structure here. So, in fact, I'm pretty certain that I can just squeeze the ball turret in afterwards. So that's the plan now. So I've just secured the rotating structure within the airframe, and as you can see, all the rest of the internals are now done, which is good. The bombs are secured, and in there looks quite busy, looks quite nice. So I think when that's all closed up and we get the fuselage sides, that's going to look pretty good. Cockpit, as you can see here, is all there, and hopefully you might just be able to see those neat decals on the backs of the seats, which are good. And then of course coming forward we've got sort of bomb aimer positions and so on. So that's pretty much, I think, ready to go in terms of getting the fuselage together. So I'll just have a quick look at the instructions, double check that, and we can come back hopefully and move on to a little bit of riveting. I've been looking at that quite closely, and I don't know, looking at pictures of the real airframe. I mean, there are quite a lot of rivets on it, and I think just to create some effect with that is going to be really useful. So that's coming up fairly shortly, but we obviously need to get everything together, clean all the joins, get all that completely sorted before we go near any of that riveting. In hindsight, possibly it would have been more useful to have done that before we had done any of the construction at all, just got into the fuselage sides and then the wings and so on. I'm going to rivet the wings before I attach them to the fuselage, which will make them a lot easier. And so I don't think there's any great advantage with having done it earlier. There's a chance we may find that it would have been useful to have done it on the fuselage before now, or before it's together. But hey ho, I just wasn't sure then whether I wanted to go that far. But I think probably some limited, but sort of evidence, some sort of riveting that you can see is going to be of use and helpful. So there we go. That's where we are just now, and so let's get on and move on from here.